So I'm gonna talk about NBA 2K18. So NBA 2K18, like on my channel, like you might see like some random clips, like of like random basketball clips, like of funny plays, funny bloopers, like on the NBA 2K, and yeah. So NBA 2K is a game that I come back to from time to time, mainly to play the exhibition all-time teams, right? So the all-time teams, they're the best like of every franchise. So they're the best players for every franchise up until 2017. So the point of 2017. And yeah, so, for example, the all-time Lakers, the all-time Celtics, the all-time 76ers, right? And so on. And yeah, so NBA 2K18, it has that, though. It has those, it's going to have those all-time teams that's going to represent the franchises. So, for example, like, I always love to play, as like some sort of challenge, like a personal challenge, I always love to play against the all-time Lakers. Because the all-time Lakers, they're, are the ultimate challenge. So this is 2017. So this was before LeBron was on the Lakers. So it's just all the legends up until that point that played for the Lakers. So Magic, Kobe, Jerry West, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, Wilkes, Byron Scott, and so on. So NBA 2K. So like when I play the game, I always want to try my best to defeat the all-time Lakers. So I put it like on like a very hard difficulty, and I tried to defeat the all-time Lakers. As a challenge, they are very challenging because Magic Johnson. So if you know basketball, the different positions: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, center. Magic Johnson like is a point guard, right? And he is big like as a point guard. Jerry West, who is like for some reason that the game buffed him up where he makes so many shots. He's a very efficient shooter, so he makes so many shots. And yeah, Kobe Bryant, which Kobe Bryant, right? A shot maker, like a hard shot taker, and yeah, and he's almost impossible at the guard. Shaquille O'Neal, Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain as well. So like with all those factors, they're very hard to beat. But I like to play like as many different all-time teams. The all-time Hawks, for example. I recently started learning, the all-time Spurs, the all-time Warriors, the all-time Thunder, which is my favorite franchise, OKC. But yeah, so all these different franchises, you get to, play as them, see their strengths, weaknesses, and yeah. Some, like, because it is an all-time team. So if you know about, the different, positions, some teams lack small forward or like wings or will lack point guards, or others will lack bigs and centers. I hate when I don't have bigs on the floor because I can't rebound, and some don't have as many bigs, right? But some of them, like the more OP ones, will have bigs, will have power forwards, like will have more frequent like of those. NBA 2K18. Now, unfortunately, this game, the online no longer works, so the online doesn't work anymore. 2 years after like an NBA 2K comes out, they actually shut down the online. So it's like 3 years. So there's this message where saying, okay, the servers, they're no longer supported, which means that there's no online, there's no leaderboard, there's nothing, there's no ranking and nothing. So this really, I remember at the time, 5 years ago, this kind of upset me because I wanted to play my team, but I couldn't play my team anymore. That's the one where you could make your own team, and it is very cool. So the online no longer works. I'm not sure. I didn't try my career. I tried my GM mode. My GM mode works, I believe, or it's like my league or whatever. But yeah, those modes work, but the online modes don't work. So exhibition, if you want to play, like, again, you can play regular exhibition. We can play co-op, so you can play, not so much, like some sort of split screen scenario where you have somebody in your house play with you, or like sort of friend come over play with you, like an NBA 2K. But there's no online to it. There's no more online to it, unfortunately. Now, NBA 2K game, so, this one, though, in terms of, like, I remember, in terms of certain 2Ks have different mechanics and physics, right? So 2K18, I remember this one had a certain tendency to have very strong paint defense. So the defense in the paint, as you got closer out to the basket, it was very buffed up. So let's say like if you're a very tall guy, if you want to shoot, if you want to make a layup, and if somebody is in front of you, it doesn't matter how strong that person is, you're not going to, chances are, right, like you still make the shot, but chances are, you're not going to make the shot. And yeah, so the paint defense was very buffed up. I think they nerfed it over time, so it's not as overpowered. And yeah, but especially for post up offense. So if you're playing like as a great post up player, so a post is like like you're back to the basket and you're near the rim. But for example, Elijah Wan or Shaq or Dirk Nowitzki or Tim Duncan, they're the better post players, so you're gonna have an easier time with them scoring down low. And yeah, so yeah, I remember that. And most 2Ks will have awkward turnover animations where your character just randomly gives the ball up, where you just give the ball up or you make this stupid pass. The inbounds play, for example, so like where you're waiting to pass the ball inbounds, but at the inbounds play where there's one where the player throws it out of bounds. You literally just throw it out of bounds. This really pisses me off. This really upsets me, like when this happens. And yeah, but it can happen to the AI as well. It can happen to your opponent. But there's just these awkward animations. And yeah, most 2Ks, they differ in physics and a character design. Sometimes the character design, it looks weird. Sometimes they go wider. So in terms of the body, a character design, they go wider sometimes. Sometimes they go, shorter. So some of the players, I remember one year, I can't remember who it was, Shaq or somebody that was tall. Can't remember. They looked small. And the game made him look skinny. And I'm like saying, why does he look like that in the game? But anyways, it is a video game, so you're gonna have those things. So shooting as well. Shooting with most 2Ks is timing the jump shot. So with basketball, it's timing the jump shot, trying to release at your peak. So the peak of your jump shot, you want to release. So same thing here, but just the shot meter has been changed. With a lot of them, they change the shot meter over time, right? Some shot meters, they're harder to time. Other shot meters, they are, easier to time. It's best to not have the shot meter sometimes and just time at the player's drum shot. But the problem is every player has a different drum shot. So the timing of the drum shot, for example, is going to be different. For example, there's a player, if like Boston Celtics, Al Horford. So Al Horford or, for example, the Mavericks, Sean Marion, they have very weird drum shots. They have weird drum shot animations, and it is hard to time it. And yeah. Other ones, I can't remember who was it, David Thompson or somebody, had a very slow jump shot. So his jump shot was very slow. And yeah, but 2K18 is going to have those things, right? Once you play, there's lots of great shooters. 3 points, so like 3-point in terms of like a 3-point shooting. So 2017, like if you play as the current teams, right? This was like at the league like was more about 3-point shooting. So most teams had multiple 3-point shooters like in the team. So it was interesting though, like with 2K18 when they added, I believe this is the one where they added in Inside the NBA halftime show, right? And Inside the NBA, it is one of my favorite TV shows like to watch. It is very entertaining, and the dialogue, the commentary, it is very fun. But yeah, there is they did add them into the video game. So it's Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie. There is no Barkley. I don't know why. I think he said something like he doesn't want to be like in a video game, something like that. But I don't know why he's not there. But anyways, yeah, yeah, it's just this very small detail. It's very fun dialogue. You can get that like in the game as well. And yeah, other things to in the game. So difficulty. So the difficulty slider. So there is a slider difficulty. So you could adjust, like any sports game really, or any like some racing games do this, where you cannot adjust sliders. So you can make it so certain aspects of the game are more difficult, other aspects not so much difficult. I hate like when it's hard to. I hate like when I'm playing these games and it's hard to make free throws. So I just turn down a free throw difficulty. But sometimes though I can make for example, I'll make what is it again? 3-point shooting easier, and other things to like defense harder. And yeah, but you can actually buff up certain sliders or nerf certain sliders depending like on your play style. And yeah, other things. So for example, pace. So the pace of the game. I'm not sure how the pace works, but the pace, if you turn it up, and the more you turn up the pace, the faster the game is gonna go. So faster game means more scoring, but you're gonna have a harder time playing defense. So it's gonna be harder to play defense. So, you know, I can just keep pace at 50. I keep it balanced. Or 50 or 60, I keep it balanced. It is more fun to have it faster, but you're going to have harder time playing defense. And your opponent is more likely to go on runs. So runs like 9-0 runs, 10-0 runs, for example, they're like a nightmare sometimes to come back from. So I just keep it like a 50 or 60. And yeah, you got the different difficulties. So the difficulties, they adjust the sliders for you automatically. So what was it again? You have rookie, all-star, superstar, and all NBA difficulty. What was the hardest difficulty? I can't remember what it's called. Pro, no, you had pro was the middle one. And what was the hardest one? All NBA or like all legend difficulty, something like that. So, you know, as you got further as you got to the hard difficulty of the game, the sliders, they were difficult. And the game, it is harder to adjust to. But once you play on a certain difficulty, I play on the second hardest difficulty, superstar difficulty or all NBA. And yeah, that's a difficulty I used to. Like I play on that difficulty a lot. We can change the difficulty constantly. You can change it constantly, and you know, I can change it in game as well. And yeah, you know, so other things in the game are adjustments, like for defense. Defensive adjustments, I'm not sure how much they affect the game, but I do them because I hate playing the game, and like I hate like when the AI. So the AI, this is a problem like with the game where the AI helps a lot. So the AI will leave shooters open, will leave, you know, will make it easier for slashers to score, and yeah. So I just make the defense. I set up the defense to be very strong and very tight, like you know, a very tight defense. Play man to man. 2K18, playing at the game as you play through the game, right? You would have to you gotta use defensive settings, right? You gotta adjust the game defensively, offensively as well. Offensively is more so, you know, 2K is a lot, you know, fast pace, up and down pace. So it's like fast pace, up and down. You score, I score. You score, I score. Pass, fast break, score, layup, 3-point shot. So it's very fast pace. 2K18 is just like that. But you can change up the offense. So, you know, offensive tendencies, like for example, offensive rebounds, right? Or limit a transition or patient offense, or, you know, certainly you can change different plays. So, you know, there's different action plays you can do like for offense, right? To make the game easier, right? For your offense or like for your team, and yeah. And you can adjust the offensive set where there's different sets that go better like with different teams, depending like on what your team has. Depending. So if you have a center that can shoot, right? Like a stretch big, as they call it, or like a point guard that likes to post up, or some sort of, you know, small forward that loves to slash, you can adjust the offense around that. So yeah, you know, all those things. So NBA 2K18, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.